Hey guys, welcome to Real Talk, Real Work. Today, our special guest is Tanner Price. He is the founder of LVRZ Media. Um, and Tanner, I'm so thankful that you're on the show today. Thank you for taking your time. I know you're a busy guy. So, I wanted to ask you, what was the brains behind LVRZ Media?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I call it lovers, right? Like that's what it kind of my verbal word for it.
Mm,
But the LVRZ is definitely more impactful to me personally because I didn't just want to use my name, but I wanted something that was just as important to me, if not more important. And the L actually stands for my wife's name, Lexi, and then I've
oh,
got three daughters, which are Vivian, Rudy, and Zoe. And that's the VRZ. And
oh,
so it's
very cool.
actually kind of representative of my family, which is cool. And then kind of a fun fact about it is when I kind of found it as Lovers Media, I had I was just kind of in the marketing space, right? Doing
Mhm,
some work for small businesses. And it didn't quite, I don't know, almost didn't match the vibe.
mhm.
Um, but since then I had moved into the wedding film space. And now Lovers Films sounds a lot more appropriate for the wedding space, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of this origin story where it felt meant to be, you could say.
Okay. So how long have you been doing this now?
So when I first started Lovers, which was started as Lovers Media, was maybe almost 2 years ago now. I mean, I've
Okay.
dabbled in some marketing work and video work and things like that for years, off and on in different formats. Um, but yeah, it became Lovers Media a couple years ago, and then we're coming up on just a year since I kind of transitioned into Lovers Films, which is the wedding film side of
Well,
everything,
well,
right?
congrats.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I'm sure it's really hard, right? Because everyone wants to be in the wedding space because it's, lucrative, but there's
Sure.
also a lot of videographers, filmmakers, and um people like that. So how did you differentiate yourself in that space?
Yeah, good question. I think, I think that's an ongoing process, but from the time that I came into the space where I'd say some people might see this as a disadvantage, but I feel like it ultimately has been my advantage is a lot of wedding vendors get into weddings when they're a little bit younger than I got into them. So
Mm,
I'm 32. A lot of photographers, videographers had started when they were 22 in my
mm,
area, right? And so they kind of have these roots, but with age comes a little wisdom, a little
mm,
experience. And so I think just knowing people, I come from a sales background, so understanding people and how people work, how to communicate well in that, how to provide a good day of service
mm.
has been kind of a secret weapon. And then also my biggest secret weapon is my wife. She is not only an incredible person, but she's an incredible photographer.
Mhm.
And one of the hardest spots to master and not that I've mastered it by any means or even come close, but one of the hardest elements of wedding filmmaking is knocking out a really, really nice color grade.
Mhm.
And usually filmmakers in their first couple years, their color grade kind of just sucks. But my wife, with her background and what she's built, she's really been able to kind of coach me on that and be my second pair of eyes in order to kind of nurture that and just always give a really honest opinion that sometimes is hard to take
Mhm.
because it's your work and then you're like, oh, I need to change all of that.
Yeah.
But it's been really beneficial, right? So she's been a secret weapon of mine too. So I guess a twofold answer is the experience that's come with a little bit of time and experience elsewhere, and then my wife, because she's amazing.
Well, so it sounds like, and I've talked to multiple entrepreneurs about this, is that, finding the right person that you can share this journey with is one of the like baseline bare minimum things that you need to always have, right? So at least you
Absolutely.
have that in your wife and being able to kind of grow a family, get into the space. Now, I wanted to ask you, do you have film like expertise? Like, did you go to school? Did you go to college for it? Or is it just kind of like self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught. I no formal schooling or anything like that, which it's an interesting thing in this industry, especially in the wedding side of it, because wedding film is different than a lot of filmmaking because it's very, we call it guerrilla filmmaking. It's on
Mm,
the go, shoot from the hip. It's not planned scenes. Like you kind of know what's coming because weddings fit a certain format,
mm,
but you don't exactly know where the magic's going to be. So there's a bit of an Easter egg hunt there rather
mm,
than more of like a formatted, actors or things like that, right? And so there's an advantage to not coming from any film background.
mm,
The disadvantage is all like the deeper knowledge of understanding settings and lighting and all these different things, and that's been
mm.
self-taught. But
Yeah.
again, secret weapon has been my wife in that, and
Yeah.
then just doing it, right? Like I got into video because years ago I was like, I just want a drone, and I bought a drone, and then I did the drone video, and then I had a GoPro, and just kind of did it for myself and personal projects, and I ended up loving that. And so it's cool that it's actually a skill and a hobby that can be turned into a business.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. So, I mean, because, I've been around filmmakers, I would say a majority of my life, because I used to do professional dancing before this, right? So,
Yeah,
you know, seeing all that and being around it, you're totally right, though. Most of them are like very structured and whatnot, and wedding is very much like whatever happens, catch it. Like,
yeah,
get the moment.
yeah. Make
Um,
sure you hit record at the right time.
Yeah, so that's really good. So, I kind of wanted to ask you, what's a day-to-day challenge, in this business as you're growing your business, that you face?
Yeah. I think one of the difficult ones that's kind of more unique to my situation has been just time management because it's such an unconventional job in the sense that I'm not showing up to an office 8 to 5,
Hmm.
right? There's not this allocated time to get the work done. And then, on the weekends or whenever those weddings are scheduled, of course, I'm filming, which is easy. You put that in the calendar, show up and get that done. But when it comes to the actual editing side of it, managing that pipeline and learning how to balance, well, I was gone on the weekend. So I'm a big family man. And it's like, well, I want to spend a certain amount of time with my kids. So how many days a week do I need to edit? And then also, I still have little kids. And so managing when I can actually be at the computer is a little different, right? Like I have
Hmm.
a baby. And
Yeah.
so during the day, I'm actually Mr. Mom because my wife is working during the week on her business.
Yeah.
And so it's this crazy dynamic of, hey, baby's going down for a nap. The other kids can go be busy and play. Let me go edit for like the hour or two I have during naps. Then you forget to eat. And then, you go spend the rest of the day with them and taking care of the kids and life. And then put them down to bed. Now it's 8 o'clock at night where you just want to relax, but it's like, I've got an editing queue,
Yeah.
time to get back on the grind. So most nights are me and my wife putting on a show in the background, and we're just in the editing cave getting the job done. And that's probably been the most challenging part of it because yeah, I don't have like a standard fit. She works full time, I work full time. We luckily both have booming businesses, and it's crazy.
Mm.
But yeah, time is tricky.
It's a hard thing to manage, and I'm sure, as a family man, that's something that you're always like, oh man, I don't want to be the dad that's never around, right? Because it takes a
Totally.
lot of time to edit anything. I've tried a few times on my stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I'll just sit
Yeah.
there and I'm like throwing stuff at the wall, right? I'm like, oh man, is that the right film type, or is this gonna translate in the perfect way? So I can only imagine what it's like, because I mean, you have something very specific that's so important to a couple, right? Whenever
Yeah.
you're shooting this type of stuff, and I'm sure you've gotten some pretty crazy requests, right?
Dude, honestly, not like, I mean, I feel like I've been really blessed with most of my couples have just said, hey, like I trust you.
Okay.
So that's been, yeah, shockingly, because, and I have buddies that, yes, they do. Like my buddy last week was, there was a bride that wasn't very happy about stuff, even though he made a great film and gave all these different requests. And I've been lucky to connect with a lot of amazing couples that are just kind of like, hey, like use your creative vision and bring it to life.
Yeah.
And it's landed, right? Like they've
Yeah.
loved that. So I'm not saying there won't be crazy requests, but at this point I've been pretty lucky to just kind of go with my creative look and it's landed.
Okay. So how long did it take you to cultivate your look?
Oh, good question. So my first film was in September, end of September last year.
Mm.
That was the first like wedding I filmed,
Mm.
which is crazy because I've had to have filmed 30 since then,
Oh wow. Okay.
which is pretty nuts for a first year. And if you scroll back on my feed, my color grade is trash. And like it's not what it is now. But beginning of this year, kind of like a happy accident with some settings, I started to kind of find a vibe that I liked. And then I put out my sister-in-law was engaged. She's married now, but I did a little engagement film when she was on vacation with my wife and I. And I leaned into that kind of Wes Anderson style that's very still frames, kind of that like eye view, almost like you're watching a play, a little bit quirky, like some fun, whip pans and different things like that.
Mm.
And the response was just unreal, right? Like
Mm.
compared to all the other stuff I did that I was even proud of, when I leaned into that very Wes Anderson style and aesthetic, everybody just ate it up. Like
Yeah.
people I know and people I don't know. And I love that. Like to me, it kind of felt like I was hitting an authentic bone there. And so I've just continued to lean more and more into that.
Mm.
And I feel like that was pretty fast even since the start. It's probably like March, April this year. I
Mm.
really kind of dug into that. And so I'd say 6 to 8 months from me starting is where I really found a style that I love, and I'm still fine tuning it
Mm.
to make it truly my own.
Mm.
But yeah, it feels right and it feels good. So I think my
Yeah.
work will resemble that for a long time.
Well, that's good because like it's always good for filmmakers to have kind of like their stamp, right? So that way you can
Yeah.
always kind of have um like a proof of concept in a way, right?
Yeah.
For type of things. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. It's as an artist, you kind of want someone if they see your work to be able to be like, "Oh, is this Lovers Films, right? Is this
Yeah.
Tanner?"
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
feels really good. So
Have you
that's the
had that
goal.
before?
Um, I've not had that because I just don't think I'm on like that side of like being able to hear that. So hopefully
Hmm.
it's happened out there.
Hmm.
But I have what's made me really proud is a lot of my inquiries now come in and they say, I didn't like any other wedding films, and then I found yours and I just love it. Like if there's anybody that's gonna film our day, it's gonna be you, period. And when somebody really wants you as an artist like that,
Yeah.
nothing feels better, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
them feeling like nobody else can accomplish what I want but you. It's a really good spot to be, both emotionally and just business wise, right? Gives you a little
Hmm.
leverage.
Well, that's good. So
Yeah.
whenever you shot that first engagement film, right? Did you realize that like there was going to be a change in your career trajectory? Like was it
Mm.
like instantaneous where you're like, okay, I'm doing this. Like wife, I hope you trust me. I'm going all in on this. What was that
Yeah.
conversation like?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I let me relate it to there's this book by Matthew McConaughey called Green Lights.
Okay.
And he kind of goes throughout his life where there's, everybody hits different stumbling blocks, but then there's these green lights where something kind of just shows you your way,
Hmm.
right? Shows you who you're supposed to be a little bit. And my story really started with, I was getting out of sales, I was getting into this marketing, doing some video, and my wife was like, "Hey, you should really do weddings." And I said, "Nah, that's like a weekend job for college students, you know?"
Yeah, yeah.
And then probably 6 months later, she's like, "You really should consider weddings. Like, there's great money, it's consistent." And for some reason, something inside me changed that I was like, "Okay, I'm open to it. Like, let's do it." And that very night, I like made an account for weddings. The next day, I filmed just this little thing saying, "Hey, I know how to do videography. I've got experience in it, but I have no wedding portfolio. So
Mm.
if you want an inexpensive wedding video, like, hit me up. I'm
Yeah.
booking super cheap right now." And just off of that video, that was my first like green light.
Mm.
And I had 15 booked weddings, probably like 40 inquiries, right? Like it was nuts.
Oh, wow.
And so to be able to start with 15 booked weddings, it's like, hey, now I have room to play here. Like I can
Mm.
actually build something instead
Yeah.
of being desperate to get a chance.
Hmm.
And so that was my first green light. And then I filmed those weddings kind of through the rest of the year. And then this engagement film we're talking about was probably my second green light. I just kind of made it, and wow, like the response was awesome. I think it did like 500,000 views
Oh, wow.
and on Instagram, and then it did probably another 100K or maybe 500,000 or something like that on TikTok too, right? So
Mm.
I'm getting some good traction. It's exciting. I'm pumped. I feel really good about it. And then shortly after that, I'd actually made kind of a funny little film with this song. It's like Granny gets hit by a bazooka, and I put it
Okay.
to like an actual wedding film, and
Yeah.
and it just went off and took a life of its own. And this was where I felt God's hand just saying, "Yes, like you finally listened to where you're supposed to be. Like I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
another green light." And this is
Mhm.
like pedal to the metal green light
Yeah.
all the way. And that has done 40 million views. Technically, I
Wow.
posted again, so technically 45 million between posting it twice. And that really has just resolved any level of demand problem I had.
Hmm.
And I can just really focus on my craft now.
Okay.
And so like, yeah, because it built me a great following, it built me so many things that I have inquiries just continuously moving that I can just focus on being the best filmmaker I can be and serving my
Hmm.
couples the best possible way I can. So
Hmm.
yeah, that was another green light. And then there's been a lot of smaller green lights. I could go on for days, right?
Yeah.
Like even just with friends I've worked with or this workshop that I went to, and the stars have aligned. And
Hmm.
I tell everyone I was in sales for 10 years. I did well in sales, but I felt like I always had to put a little more effort than what I would yield,
Hmm.
right? Like the work was greater than the harvest.
Hmm.
And this is the first time in my career I feel like am I putting in this much work that is actually like that I deserve all this?
Yeah.
Like the universe is moving in my favor, and that's been really, really neat.
Okay. Wow, that's phenomenal, man. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to read that book now.
dude, you should. And even better if you like audiobooks.
Hmm.
Matthew McConaughey reads it, and he's just got that charm. He's like
Oh,
green.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
Greenland.
a good one. You'd like it. You'd like it.
Okay. So I kind of want to pedal back just a little bit. You mentioned
Yeah,
faith. So how
yeah,
important is that in your business and your family's life? Tell me a little bit more about that.
yeah. No, I mean it's super important. To me, like faith is just very fluid to life, right? Like it's one and the same. I mean, God is in everything, right? Like
Hmm.
this is all his orchestration. And, my wife and I grew up a certain faith and have since kind of left that faith, but still have faith, if that makes
Hmm.
sense, right?
Yeah.
And so even as of right now, it's not like we're super tied into a church community or things like that, but like we both recognize and teach our kids to recognize like we're part of a greater whole,
Hmm.
and God watches over us and does these things, and our trials are for our bettering, and so it's been a cool experience to just feel during a time that I don't know that I'd be as connected to my faith,
Hmm.
because of like that transition in my life,
Hmm.
but then like almost God has shown himself that much more
Okay.
coincidentally, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And that's been a powerful experience. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Well, that's very cool. Yeah, I mean, a lot of
yeah,
people, that I talk to, they say that faith is one of the strongest things in their business. So if you don't
yeah,
have that, then your business isn't worth as much, right? Because you got to always have him behind you. And a lot of people are scared to also mention that they, have a belief in a religion and all
yeah,
this other stuff, which I think people shouldn't be scared to say anything about it,
100%
which is kind of mind-boggling in itself, right? I mean, I'm sure
for
you talk
sure.
to a lot of people, and it's probably like a common thing where maybe some people are scared about it, and some people are like, "No, I have no problem. Let's talk about it for hours," right?
Yeah, yeah,
Super
you get the whole
strange.
spectrum.
Yeah. So, what would you say, in this business, what's a sacrifice that you've had to um, kind of uphold now that you've had some success in your business?
Yeah. So when it comes to the actual work where I feel just so incredibly lucky is like there's a lot of people you meet a Walmart greeter and they're like, I love my job. I've been greeting at Walmart for 30 years. And I
Yeah.
genuinely believe that, right? But do I think like greeting people is their passion? Like maybe, but chances are no, they just find joy in it.
Yeah.
And I feel super grateful that in this work, like this is quite literally my passion. Like
Mm.
if there were no bills to pay, like I would absolutely do this job completely free. Like I love
Oh,
it,
okay.
right?
Okay.
And so when I think of sacrifice, it's only the only sacrifice comes with the inconvenience of time.
Hmm.
Back to that same thing, right? I was just out of town for like a 5 day trip out of the country, got back in last Sunday, and then I left again Wednesday. And then now I'm out of town for like a week, and I
Yeah.
will be back in town for like a week or two, and then I leave for another wedding, and then the next weekend another wedding. And that's a great problem to have. But for someone who just absolutely loves to be home with their kids,
Mm.
sometimes it's hard to leave when they're so little,
Mm. Yeah.
and so that's the biggest sacrifice I think is just giving up some of that time. That being said, it's a sacrifice that also lets me have more time at home than probably your average dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works out in my favor.
It balances.
It balances.
So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Um, and like, is there ever self-doubt in this business?
You know, I think there is. I'm gonna be honest, I feel pretty lucky that I've had so many green lights this year that
Hmm.
self-doubt hasn't played any major role.
Hmm.
Um, the biggest role that self-doubt kind of takes place is in comparison, or sometimes like if I booked a really big exciting wedding thinking how do they trust me with this, like
Okay.
who am I to be paid this amount of money to come do this, because it's surreal, right? Like I said, I would do it for free. Like if someone let me show up on their wedding day just to film it, I'd be like, yes, I love
Yeah.
that, like please
Yeah.
let me. But now you're telling me they're going to pay me a good amount of money to like be there.
Yeah.
What? Like it feels more like undeserving
Yeah.
than like doubting my abilities. I know I can deliver. I'm confident in my skills, but it sometimes feels a little more like a little too surreal to be like, am I tricking someone? Am I being dishonest and I don't know it? Like what's happening?
You're like, wait, you're paying for my flight, my hotel, and you're
Yeah,
getting my services? Hmm.
yeah.
Like,
What? Like
free
why is this
vacation?
making sense? You're flying me out to a beautiful place, like, and I just get to do what I love? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll take that any day. Well, that's
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, so that's the only real like pressure or self-doubt is kind of like within those moments.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it, right? Like sometimes like comparison to like some of my buddies that are so talented and being like, man, like I wish I could be as good as you. Like my work looks like trash, but like it's not even self-doubt in that case. It's more so just like robbing myself of the joy because I
Yeah.
admire somebody else's work, you know?
Hmm.
Um, I'm grateful that I feel like I've really got some good skills under my belt that I can deliver.
Hmm.
And from then it's just passion to say, but how well can I deliver? Like, can I over
Hmm.
deliver like to the moon and have
Right.
somebody just absolutely elated? And even if, maybe they spent 4 or 5 grand on this wedding video, but I want them to feel like it was a 10 or 15 grand wedding video, right?
Gotcha.
That's that's the idea.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, if someone were to want to get into this industry, what's
Yeah.
something that they can take away from this conversation today and maybe go apply to that?
Yeah. Um, I think it's just like work is a lot less work and almost just not work when it's just passion driven.
Okay.
And the alignment that I feel like I made from going from something that I did find joy in, I found joy in sales, right? Like
Hmm.
there are times that I really loved my job, but like when I leaned into something that was a pure passion of mine, which I was grateful enough to finally figure out what that was,
Hmm.
I think the sky's the limit. And I think when the most successful people in the world, I think what they've done is they've aligned their passion with their work.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes it takes creativity to do that. But like you see the best artists in the world, you see the best anything. I mean, maybe not even art. Maybe you're like into
Yeah.
finance and you just geek out about it. But like
That's true.
if
Yeah.
you do what you love, money will come. Like you'll figure out a way to monetize it, right? There's especially with social media and everything now, you can monetize just about anything.
Yeah.
But I think if you really align yourself with what you love, like just go for it. So if you wanted to get into this industry, you love it, like just go do it.
Hmm.
And your work, like the cool thing is you'll be proud of it, even if it is trash compared to somebody far better than you. But like
Yeah.
you just keep grinding on it and grinding on it and beating on your craft. And before you know it, it starts to look a little better and a little better and a little better. And then people are like paying you a little more and a little
Yeah.
more and a little more. And the harder you work at it, the faster that process happens.
Hmm.
And yeah, again, if it's passion driven, you'll want to work hard at it. You'll just
Yeah.
want to spend your free time doing it. So just go for it. Like
Yeah.
whatever. If you wanna be in this industry or any others that aligns with your passion, like do it. Like quit waiting. You have one life to live. So live
Yeah.
it in a way you won't regret.
Very cool. Very cool. So this last question is mainly just for you. So to all the listeners out there, I want to give you kind of the floor. How do they find you? How do they book with you? How do they get to you, basically?
Yes, I appreciate it. So probably the best way is through Instagram, at lvrz.films is my handle. My website's there. It's just lvrzfilms.com. But I also say like, hey, if you are someone that just does want to get in the industry or has a question about the industry, like you don't have to be a paying client to reach out. A lot of people gave me some of their time and gave me some of their advice as I started, and it was invaluable. And so I try and do the same. So if anybody has interest there, by all means, hit me up and I'm happy to help.
Perfect. Well, Tanner, thank you so much for coming on the show today with Real Talk, Real Work. It was a pleasure to speak with you. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you so much.
Dude, thank you for having me, man. This was fun.
Of course.
Peace.
Face.